The great chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with light. Tall alien leaders sat in floating chairs made of crystal and metal. In the center of the room, a giant hologram of Earth slowly turned in silence. For a moment, no one spoke. Then someone laughed. It started as a low chuckle from Ambassador Karzan of the Varel Empire. Soon others joined him. Within seconds, the chamber echoed with open mockery. So this is humanity's final defense? Karzan said, pointing at the display. Around Earth floated a small fleet of ships. They looked simple. No shining alien shields. No massive planet-sized cannons. Just gray metal hulls and basic weapon ports. They call this a military power, another leader said. Earth had refused to sign the new expansion treaty. Every other world had agreed to give the Council shared control of their outer systems. Humans had said no. They said Earth would remain independent. That answer did not please the Council. So they sent a warning fleet. Not a full invasion. Just enough ships to scare humanity into obedience. The alien armada now waited near Mars. Thousands of advanced warships blocked the stars. Their weapons charged quietly. Their commanders expected panic. Instead, they received silence. On Earth, cities did not riot. Governments did not beg. The humans simply stopped transmitting. Deep under the Pacific Ocean, something old began to wake. Massive generators hummed to life beneath miles of water. Ancient steel doors opened for the first time in decades. Power lines thicker than skyscrapers carried energy into the dark. On the surface, nothing looked different. Back in the Council chamber, a technician raised a claw. Ambassadors, it said carefully, we are detecting an unusual energy increase on Earth. Karzan waved dismissively. Probably a shield test. They are trying to look brave. More laughter followed. But the energy reading did not stop rising. Near Mars, the alien fleet commander sent the final warning. Surrender control of your outer colonies. Power down your defenses. This is your last chance. The message reached Earth. Still no reply. Instead, every alien sensor in the system flickered. Gravity readings shifted slightly. Navigation systems recalibrated without command. What is that? One alien officer whispered. Then they saw it. A column of blue-white light burst from Earth's ocean surface. It did not strike the fleet. It did not even come close. It shot past them. Far beyond Pluto. Farther than any human weapon should reach. The beam crossed empty space in silence and hit a distant, lifeless star at the edge of the system. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the star collapsed inward. Light twisted. Space bent. And the star was gone. Not exploded. Not damaged. Erased. Shock spread across the alien fleet. Ships powered down weapons without orders. Some captains forgot to breathe. In the Council chamber, the laughter had stopped. The hologram zoomed out to show the missing star. One of the oldest leaders in the room spoke softly. That star was stable. Another technician confirmed in a shaking voice, it has been completely annihilated. On Earth, a calm voice finally transmitted across open channels. This is the United Earth Defense Command. The tone was steady. Not angry. Not afraid. You entered our system with threats. We responded with a demonstration. Silence filled the galaxy. The human voice continued. The device you witnessed is called the Star-Annihilator. It is not aimed at fleets. It is aimed at stars. In the Council chamber, Ambassador Karzan felt something unfamiliar tighten inside his chest. Fear. The human message ended with simple words. Leave our space. This is your only warning. Across the system, the Star-Annihilator began to charge again. Silence spread across the alien fleet like a cold wave. The missing star left a dark scar in space. Navigation systems struggled to adjust. Long-range scanners searched for natural explanations. There were none. Inside the command ship of the Armada, Supreme Fleet Commander Rael stood frozen. He had fought in 20 wars. He had seen planets burn. But he had never seen a star erased. Confirm the target was uninhabited, he ordered quietly. Yes, Commander, an officer replied. No colonies. No life signs. It was chosen carefully. Rael understood the message immediately. This was not rage. This was control. Back on Earth, deep under the Pacific Ocean, the massive structure continued to glow. The Star-Annihilator was hidden in trenches deeper than any alien probe had scanned. Layers of reinforced alloy surrounded a core of energy that pulsed like a living heart. Human engineers watched calmly from underground control rooms. They had prepared for this moment for decades. After the First Contact War. After the border conflicts. After every time humanity had been underestimated. They made a choice long ago, never again be at the mercy of stronger empires. The Star-Annihilator was never meant to conquer. It was meant to make invasion impossible. In the Galactic Council chamber, panic slowly replaced pride. Ambassador Karzen slammed his hand against the armrest of his floating chair. They destroyed a star, he shouted. They are unstable. But another elder leader spoke with care. No. They destroyed a dead system. They showed precision. A technician interrupted again. Energy levels on Earth are rising. The weapon is charging a second time. Every screen in the chamber displayed the same image, Earth, calm and blue, with a growing storm of energy beneath its oceans. Commander Rael's fleet received new calculations. If that weapon locks onto one of our home stars, an officer whispered, we will have no time to respond. For centuries, the Council had ruled through power. They had fleets larger than most civilizations could imagine. They believed no single species could threaten them. They were wrong. A direct channel opened again from Earth. The same calm human voice returned. We do not seek war, it said. We demonstrated capability. Your fleet will withdraw immediately. Rael felt anger rise in his chest. His fleet outnumbered Earth's ships thousands to one. One order from him could begin full bombardment. But the numbers no longer mattered. If even one Council Core world lost its star, billions would die. He opened a private channel to the Council. We underestimated them, Rael admitted. This is not a bluff. In the chamber, arguments erupted. Some leaders demanded immediate attack before the weapon fully charged. Others demanded retreat. Karzen refused to bend. If we retreat now, every minor species will defy us. And if we stay, another leader asked coldly. What if our suns disappear? The charging sound from Earth increased. Even alien instruments light years away detected the energy spike. The Star-Annihilator was locking onto a new target. This time, the targeting data appeared clearly on Council screens. A populated system. One of the Varel Empire's outer stars. Karzen went silent. Sweat formed under his armored collar. On Earth, the human commander spoke once more. You have 10 minutes to clear our space. Across the alien fleet, weapons powered down one by one. Ships turned slowly away from Earth. Commander Rael gave the order. All vessels. Full retreat. Maximum speed. The massive armada that had arrived with confidence now fled in complete silence. As the fleet crossed beyond the edge of the solar system, the energy buildup from Earth slowly decreased. The target lock vanished. The second star was spared. In the Council chamber, no one laughed. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council understood something simple and terrifying. Humanity did not need the largest fleet. They only needed the power to end a sun. And they were willing to use it. The alien fleet retreated, but the fear did not. Across the core worlds of the Galactic Council, leaders locked themselves in private chambers. Advisors whispered. Military chiefs demanded options. Scientists searched for weaknesses in the impossible weapon Earth had revealed. But every calculation ended the same way. If the Star-Annihilator fired at a living star, there would be no defense. Ambassador Karzan refused to accept it. They are bluffing, he said again and again. No species would dare cross that line. But deep down, he knew the truth. Humans had already crossed it. They had erased a star without shaking hands, without shouting, without warning. That calm made them dangerous. So the Council made a secret decision. If they could not defeat the weapon in open war, they would destroy it in silence. A covert task force was assembled. Not warships. Not dreadnoughts. Stealth vessels. Black hulls coated in light-bending material. No signals. No broadcasts. No identity. Their mission was simple. Infiltrate Earth. Locate the Star-Annihilator. Disable it. End the threat forever. The ship slipped back toward human space days later, moving through dark regions beyond normal trade routes. They powered down almost everything, drifting like debris. From a distance, Earth looked peaceful again. Blue oceans. White clouds. Too peaceful. The strike leader, Commander Varesh, studied the last recorded energy data. The weapon's main power signature had come from beneath the Pacific Ocean. If we destroy the ocean core, Varesh said, the humans lose their advantage. The stealth ships entered the solar system quietly. No alarm sounded. No fleets moved to intercept. Varesh allowed himself a small smile. Primitive, he whispered. They reached orbit. Then they descended toward the ocean coordinates. But something was wrong. Long before they reached the surface, their sensors detected dozens of smaller energy nodes across the planet. Under mountains. Inside deep deserts. Embedded within the lunar crust. The Star-Annihilator was not one machine. It was a network. A web of linked power cores feeding into one central system. Even if the ocean core fell, the others could rebuild it. Varesh felt unease crawl up his spine. How long have they been building this? One officer whispered. Before anyone answered, Earth responded. Without warning, hundreds of small satellites activated around the planet. They had been silent, disguised as debris and old communication arrays. Now they woke. Target locks filled the stealth ship's displays. Varesh cursed. They knew. Above the atmosphere, space lit up with streaks of fire as human defense platforms engaged. The stealth vessels tried to vanish, but the satellites had already mapped their heat patterns. Explosions tore through the sky. Some ships attempted to dive into the ocean, hoping to reach the core by force. They were intercepted by underwater defense drones rising from the depths like metal predators. On Earth, civilians saw nothing except strange lights in the night sky. But in orbit, the covert fleet was being erased. Commander Varesh sent a final encrypted signal back to the Council. It was a trap, he transmitted. They expected us. His ship shattered seconds later. In the Galactic Council chamber, the transmission ended in static. Silence returned. Karzan gripped his seat tightly. They cannot be this prepared, he muttered. But they were. Because humans had studied history. They knew that power invites attack. So they had layered their defense. Fleet. Satellites. Planetary shields. Lunar bases. And beneath it all, the Star-Annihilator. A deterrent protected by patience. Moments later, Earth opened a public transmission to the entire galaxy. We detected your covert assault, the calm human voice said. We did not respond against your home systems. A pause followed. Do not mistake restraint for weakness. Energy readings from Earth began rising again. Not as high as before. Just enough to remind everyone. The message was clear. Humans could have erased a living star in anger. They chose not to. For now. And in that choice, the Council understood something worse than fear. They understood that humanity was disciplined. And discipline made them unstoppable. The failed covert strike shook the Galactic Council more than the erased star. The destruction of the stealth fleet had not been loud. It had not been dramatic. It had been clean and fast. Humanity had seen the attack coming. That meant only one thing. They were always watching. In the council chamber, panic spread openly now. Gone were the smiles. Gone was the laughter. Every leader stared at the image of Earth rotating silently in the center of the room. Ambassador Karzen looked tired for the first time in his long political life. They will not stop, he said. Today it is defense. Tomorrow it is control. An elder from another empire responded calmly. They have not attacked any populated world. Not yet, Karzen snapped. Far away, inside Earth's unified command center buried beneath the Atlantic Ridge, human officers monitored the galaxy. They had seen the stealth ships approach days before they entered orbit. They had allowed them to move closer. Not out of weakness. But to send a message. Admiral Sofia Reyes stood in front of a curved wall of screens showing star maps and fleet movements. Her face was calm. Energy levels, she asked. Stable, an engineer replied. Star-Annihilator ready if needed. Reyes nodded. We will not fire unless they force us. Humanity had argued for years before building the weapon. Many feared it was too powerful. Too dangerous. But in the end, they agreed on one truth. Peace without strength was temporary. Meanwhile, in the outer regions of Council territory, fleets were mobilizing again. This time, not for intimidation. For desperation. A coalition of hardline leaders demanded a final overwhelming strike. They believed if they attacked with every fleet at once, Earth would not dare fire at so many stars. They cannot destroy us all, Karzen declared. But deep inside, he wondered if he was wrong. The coalition fleet moved toward human space in silence. No threats. No speeches. Just raw force. Hundreds of thousands of ships. It was the largest armada ever assembled. When Earth detected the movement, alarms did not sound. There was no panic. Admiral Reyes simply gave one order. Begin full charge. Across the planet, hidden power cores activated. The ocean glowed faintly at night. Deep underground, reactors hummed like distant thunder. On lunar bases, giant antenna arrays aligned. The Star-Annihilator was reaching levels never recorded before. In the council chamber, sensors screamed warnings. It is targeting multiple systems, a technician gasped. Not one star. 5. All core worlds of the coalition. A single pulse would end their civilizations forever. Fleet commanders slowed their advance. Uncertainty spread like poison. The human transmission opened again. No anger. No shouting. Just calm. You continue to approach despite warning, Admiral Reyes said. We will not survive another extinction attempt. Understand this clearly. Energy surged higher. Some alien leaders felt true terror for the first time in their lives. Humans had survived ice ages. World wars. Near nuclear destruction. Environmental collapse. They had nearly destroyed themselves and rebuilt. If pushed to extinction again, they would not hesitate. Karzen watched the targeting lines lock onto his empire's sun. His claws trembled. For the first time, he saw humanity clearly. Not reckless. Not emotional. Determined. He turned to the council. "Pull back," he said quietly. The fleet hesitated. Then one by one, ships turned away. The massive armada that was meant to crush Earth began to retreat. On Earth, energy levels slowly decreased. The stars remained alive. The galaxy remained intact. Admiral Reyes gave one final message. "We have no desire to rule you. Leave us in peace." The transmission ended. In the council chamber, no one spoke. Because they finally understood something simple. The true power of the Star-Annihilator was not that it could destroy stars. It was that humans were strong enough not to use it. The retreat of the Grand Coalition fleet changed everything. For the first time in recorded history, the Galactic Council had gathered its full strength, and turned back without firing a single shot. Across hundreds of worlds, citizens watched the live star maps in disbelief. The massive armada that had promised dominance now scattered toward home systems like frightened birds. And at the center of it all, Earth remained still. No pursuit. No revenge. No victory speech. Just silence. In the council chamber, the leaders sat in a quiet that felt heavier than war. Ambassador Karzen no longer looked angry. He looked older. "We cannot defeat them," he admitted at last. An elder from a distant star system answered softly, "No. We cannot intimidate them." That difference mattered. Humanity had not conquered anyone. They had drawn a line. Back on Earth, Admiral Sofia Reyes stood before representatives of the United Earth government. News of the retreat filled every screen. Celebrations had already started in some cities. But Reyes raised her hand. "No cheering," she said calmly. "This is not a victory. It is balance." Because humanity understood something the Council did not. Power changes how others see you. From that day forward, Earth would never be seen as weak again. Trade delegations arrived within weeks. Species that once ignored human messages now requested alliances. Borders that were once restricted opened slowly. But humans were careful. They dismantled some visible parts of the Star-Annihilator. Publicly, they shut down outer nodes and allowed foreign observers to confirm. It was a gesture. A sign that Earth did not seek fear as a tool. But deep beneath the oceans, the core remained. Silent. Ready. In military academies across alien space, a new lesson was added to strategy classes. The Human Deterrence Event. Cadets studied the erased star. They studied the targeting locks on 5 core systems. They studied the moment when humanity had total power, and chose restraint. The conclusion was always the same. Underestimate humans, and you may lose everything. Years passed. No fleets entered human space without permission again. Pirate groups avoided Earth trade routes entirely. Even rival empires thought twice before threatening colonies with human ties. Respect replaced mockery. One evening, far from Earth, an aging Karzen stood before a window overlooking his empire's capital star. The sun still burned bright. He remembered the moment its image had been surrounded by targeting lines. He remembered the fear. A younger advisor stepped beside him. "Do you think they would have done it?" the advisor asked. Karzen did not answer immediately. He had studied humanity closely since that day. Their history was filled with war, mistakes, recovery, and stubborn survival. "Yes," he finally said. The advisor stiffened. "But they did not," Karzen continued. "That is why they are dangerous. Because true power was not destruction. It was control." Back on Earth, Admiral Reyes retired quietly. The Star-Annihilator project moved into the background of public awareness. Most citizens returned to normal life. But in secure rooms beneath oceans and mountains, engineers continued maintenance. Not out of fear. Out of caution. The final report of the Galactic Council summarized the event in one simple line. Humanity demonstrated the capability to end civilizations, and the wisdom not to. And somewhere in deep space, beyond mapped territory, alien explorers spoke in hushed tones about a blue world that erased a star with a single beam. They no longer laughed when they said its name. Earth had not conquered the galaxy. Earth had forced it to grow up. And in the vast darkness between stars, one truth now echoed clearly. Never mock a species that survived itself. Because if they endured their own worst days, they will survive anything.